You might have seen one of my recent videos where I mentioned that 32,000 Ontarians packed up and left the province in just 1 year. Well, the comments lit up. People want to know where they're going. Why are they leaving? And is this just a Toronto GTA problem? First off, this isn't just a trend, it's a full-blown exodus. Between 2016 and 2021, over 400,000 people left Canada's three biggest cities, and that's Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, to live somewhere else in their own province. So yes, those U-Haul shortage was real, and yes, it started before the pandemic. COVID just gave it a boost and a fancy new name called remote work. But here's what's wild. Even with all those people leaving, Toronto, the GTA, it's still growing. Why? Immigration. More than half of Canada's new immigrant settles in the big three cities. So if the sidewalks still feel packed and the traffic is still unbearable, it's not your imagination. It's just a revolving door. People leave, people arrive, the city stays busy. Now, who's leaving? You got two key groups: young adults who can't afford a shoebox in the city, and boomers who are cashing out of their $1 million semis like they just won the real estate lottery. I wish that was a joke. Millennials are over it. The rent is too high, the down payment is out of reach, and the dream of owning anything more than a closet-sized condo, forget it. So they're heading to places where 800,000 buys you an actual house with a yard and maybe a tree. How nice. And the boomers, they're done with the noise. They're done with the traffic, the snow shoveling. They're trading proximity for peace. Downsizing, yes, but also right sizing. Some are moving closer to their kids. Others are just trying to turn the Toronto equity into a home they can actually relax in. Now let's get into the where. All right, so this is from StatsCan data, and I was able to find some interprovincial migration charts, but this is from 2022 to 2023. I wasn't able to find anything more recent, but you'll see here in the graph, if you can see it, it's showing that Toronto, Montreal, and Winnipeg, Vancouver saw major losses of migration, and areas in the green down below, kind of small, but so I'll read from here. Calgary gained the record-setting amount coming into the province at over 26,000, followed by Edmonton with over 16,000, and Halifax with over 3,000. So you'll see down here other areas like Moncton, Quebec, did find a surplus of people migrating to their areas, and this is mostly ages of individuals between 20 to 34. So now let's look at the people that are actually moving out of the GTA. Think Hamilton, Oshawa, Barrie, Belleville, Kitchener-Waterloo, Kingston, and yes, Wasaga Beach. Apparently retirees are still into beach town vibes and Swiss Chalet. Between 2016 and 2021, Oshawa gained over 52,000 people from Toronto. Barrie's commuters, 28%, are still heading to work for Toronto. Belleville, real estate prices are rising faster. And let me be clear, these are not total city breakups. These are strategic separations. Most people aren't quitting Toronto forever. They're commuting. They're hybrid working. They're visiting the city on weekends. Then they're heading back to their quieter, more affordable new home. Montreal's exodus looks similar. People are moving to places like Granby, Cowansville, Drummondville, and Sherbrooke. These used to be drive-through towns. Now they're drive-in towns. Vancouver, same story. People are flocking to the BC area, and forgive me if I'm saying these names wrong, but they're going to Chilliwack, Courtenay, Nanaimo, Victoria, anywhere where there's Wi-Fi, decent housing, and a few bidding wars. Here's what's really driving this: work from home. That's the magic wand. The commute once or twice a week. It's a trade-off, sure, but for many, it's worth it. You get more house, more peace, and more sanity. Your quality of life improves. Your mortgage doesn't give you hives. Now, what does this mean for real estate? Well, if you live in a small town in Ontario, congratulations. Your town is now a hot market. Belleville saw its population grow nearly 10% in just a few years, and Cowansville in Quebec, it went up 22%, even more. Real estate values are rising fast in these communities because demand is outpacing supply. Locals are feeling it and not liking it in some cases. Toronto money hits a small market and suddenly that $320,000 bungalow is now worth $699,000 and getting 11 offers. This is probably 2 years ago now. And this trend isn't just about prices, it's about community dynamics. Schools are enrolling more kids, local shops are thriving, restaurants that used to close at 7 p.m. now have wait lists. Small town economies are getting a shot of adrenaline, but not without stress. Some locals are celebrating the boost, others are worried that the community's identity is slipping. And trust me, I hear that a lot. Infrastructure is cracking, hospitals and family doctors are overwhelmed, roads are congested in places that used to be sleepy, and the neighbor who just moved from downtown Toronto, yeah, he might be lobbying for a bike lane and an espresso in the same breath. Things have definitely changed. And just a side note, I've been hearing for so many Albertans who have commented on my videos that are just absolutely frustrated by the amount of people that are coming into their province specifically because they did receive an influx of new people migrating to their province, and they are expressing concern about their own hospitals, the doctors, just the infrastructure is not holding up with the amount of demand that's coming through. And of course, I've been hearing about the jobs. So I'm sure this is happening in other parts of Canada where there's no balance and infrastructure needs to be built and planned out better for the influx of people coming through. In the last 2 years, I've been hearing more and more people frustrated with the amount of people that have been coming into their towns and cities, and if anything, it's getting a little worse for some people. So what does this all mean for you? Well, if you're living in the Greater Toronto area and you got equity in your home, you have options, real options. You can sell, cash out, and still live within a reach of everything you love about the city. And if you're buying, look wider, think beyond the city limits. The next hot market might be an hour down the 401. If you're an investor, pay attention to those mid-sized cities. Rental demand is climbing in places like Kingston, Peterborough, and Guelph. People still need housing, but they're now looking in places they never considered before. And if you're just curious, stay informed because this isn't one-off. It's a rebalancing and it's reshaping how we think about community, work, quality of life. So if you found this video helpful or even just mildly amusing, give it a like, hit subscribe, and share it with a friend who's always saying, I can't do this city anymore. And if you're one of those 32,000 people who left, drop a comment, tell me where you went and the reason for it, and if it was worth it. Let's create a little roadmap for the rest of us. Thanks for watching and look out for our next video.